Welcome to the Mind Vault. If you've ever wondered why you do what you do, this channel is for you. We unlock the psychology behind your patterns, habits, and thoughts.
Let's get right into it. We're about to go on a journey, but not to some faraway place. No. This is a journey into the very nature of your reality. We're going to pull back the curtain on everything you just assume is true about your life, the world, even yourself. I mean, what if the things you're chasing, the past you're carrying around, and the person you think you are, what if it's all just one big illusion? So, to really get this, let's start our journey deep inside one of the most famous metaphors ever, Plato's allegory of the cave. Just picture it. You've got these prisoners chained up since they were born, and they can't even turn their heads. All they've ever seen is the cave wall in front of them. Now behind them, there's a fire, and people walk past it, casting these flickering shadows on the wall. For these prisoners, those shadows are reality. They're not just images of stuff, they are the stuff. It's the only world they know. You see, Plato's story isn't just some ancient thought experiment. No. It's a direct challenge to every single one of us right here, right now. It makes you ask this really uncomfortable question. How are we any different from those prisoners? Are the things we value, the goals we chase, the very identity we cling to, are they just shadows on our own cave wall? And what if the real truth is just outside, in that blinding light we've all been taught to be afraid of? So here's the plan. We're going to break those chains, turn around, and walk out of that cave together. First, we'll figure out what those shadows on our own walls even are. Then, we'll look at the game we're all forced to play, the illusion of the past that holds us back. And then, the big one, the illusion of the self. From there, we'll explore what reality might actually be, and finally, talk about how to live a real life, out in the light. Okay, first things first, we have to turn our heads and see the shadows for what they really are. We need to put a name to these huge illusions that we've just accepted as real life, the ones that are so common they're basically invisible. You know, the philosopher Alan Watts, he totally nailed it. He pointed to 3 great modern illusions that have us all trapped. First, money. We chase these symbols of wealth, completely confusing the menu for the actual meal. Then there's time. We treat our lives like this frantic race to some future finish line that, well, it never really comes, does it? We're always living for tomorrow. And holding it all together is the biggest illusion. The ego. That little voice in your head, that persistent feeling that you're just a separate me stuck in a body getting knocked around by fate. This whole mindset traps us in what you could call a game. We're taught the rules from the day we're born. It's a game of climbing ladders, getting points on a scoreboard. Just this constant, anxious race towards a goal that keeps moving further away. Alan Watts just offers this brilliant way to reframe the whole thing. Our culture teaches us that life is a journey, right? From kindergarten, you're on this track. Get to the next grade, then high school, then college, job, promotion, retirement. It's all about getting to some serious destination at the end. But he asks, what if life isn't a journey? What if it's more like a piece of music or a dance? I mean, the point of music isn't to get to the final note, right? If it was, the best songs would just be one final chord. No, the point is the music itself, as it's playing. The point of dancing isn't to get to a certain spot on the floor. The point is the dance. And this journey mindset, this obsession with the destination, man, it creates a huge problem. Author Mark Manson points this out perfectly. We fall in love with the result, but not the process. We want the amazing body, but we don't want to feel the burn at the gym. We want the successful company, but not the sleepless nights and the terrifying risks. We're daydreaming about the view from the summit, but we don't actually want to climb the damn mountain. So this is the thing. This is the crucial point. The quality of your life is not determined by the good stuff you want. Come on, everybody wants the same good stuff. The quality of your life is determined by the bad stuff you are willing and able to put up with. What struggle are you willing to choose? What pain are you willing to sustain? That is the question that actually defines who you are and where you're going. The secret isn't finding a life with no problems, it's finding the problems you actually enjoy solving. Okay, so we've looked at the illusion of the future, but now let's turn around and face the fire itself, the illusion of the past. Let's dig into how our memories, our stories about what happened, can become the very chains that lock us in the cave. We all have this really deep-seated belief that the past causes the present. We say it all the time. Well, I'm like this because of what happened to me. But Alan Watts flips this whole idea on its head. It's kind of a mind bender, so stick with me. He says the past doesn't cause the present. The past is the result of the present. Imagine you're on a ship. The wake, that trail of water behind the ship, it doesn't steer the ship, does it? Of course not. The ship, moving forward right now, creates the wake. The past is just that wake, a trail of memory flowing back from this ever-moving present moment. Now, if that's true, that the present creates the past, the implications are just staggering. It means you are not a victim of your history. You're not being pushed around by what happened yesterday. Creation isn't some event from long ago. Creation is happening right now. But we've learned to pass the buck, haven't we? It's like Adam blaming Eve, who blames the serpent. We blame our past. My parents messed me up, and they blame their parents, and on it goes. But the truth is, it all begins right here. But how does this trap of the past actually work inside our own bodies? Well, Dr. Joe Dispenza lays out the biological blueprint for this prison. And it's wild. Think about it. You wake up, and boom, the same thoughts from yesterday just flood your mind. Those thoughts lead you to make the same choices, which create the same experiences, which trigger the same old emotions. Your body gets so used to feeling guilty or anxious or whatever it is that it actually starts to crave those feelings. It produces the chemicals to make you feel that way again. As neuroscientists love to say, nerve cells that fire together, wire together. You have literally hardwired your past into your brain, and your body is addicted to living in it. And all of this brings us to the very heart of the cave, to the puppeteer that we've mistaken for ourselves this whole time. We're about to confront the most convincing, the most powerful illusion of them all, the ego, that nagging idea that you're a fixed, separate individual self. You know, ancient mystics, they understood this for centuries. That phrase, "be still and know that I am God," it's not some arrogant claim. It's an instruction manual. It's saying, when you quiet the constant chatter of your personal ego, all the worries, the planning, the stories, you start to become aware of something much deeper, a fundamental consciousness that connects everything. The goal isn't to do nothing, it's to quiet the part of you that thinks it's the separate one doing all the doing. And nobody has ever painted a better picture of this prison of the ego than Dostoevsky. In his Notes from Underground, he gives us this character, the underground man. This guy has acute consciousness, meaning he overthinks everything to the point of total paralysis. He just seethes with resentment and envy for the simple man of action, who just goes out and lives his life without being trapped in his own head. The underground man, he is the ego turned into a cage. So if the ego is a cage, is there a way out? Oh yeah. The legendary Japanese swordsman Miyamoto Musashi mastered a state called mushin. It literally means mind without mind. It's a state where that calculating, conscious ego just goes silent, and your actions become totally fluid and spontaneous. In his most famous duel, he totally weaponized psychology. He showed up late, carrying a crude wooden oar as a sword. His opponent's ego just couldn't handle it. He got enraged, clumsy, and Musashi took him down with one blow. It proves it. A calm mind, an egoless mind, is a winning mind. And if the ego can just be quieted like that, it just blows the whole thing wide open, doesn't it? It forces us to ask an even bigger question about the mind itself. We just assume it's this thing locked up inside our skulls, a byproduct of chemicals. But what if that's an illusion too? The biologist Rupert Sheldrake has this fascinating idea, the theory of the extended mind. He says the mind is more like a field. Think about a magnet. Its magnetic field isn't trapped inside the metal, right? It extends out into the space around it. Sheldrake suggests your mind does the same thing. When you look at a tree, you don't experience a tiny picture of a tree inside your head. You experience the image out there, where the tree is. And this could explain weird stuff, like scopaesthesia, that creepy feeling of being stared at. And get this, experiments show a statistically astronomical effect for this sense, especially in kids. It suggests our minds might literally be reaching out and touching the world. So now, here we are. We're standing outside the cave. The sun is bright, and the world is way stranger. way more mysterious than those shadows on the wall ever let on. Now we get to push the boundaries even further and explore the very fabric of existence and the mind's incredible role in creating it. Look at this. This image is not some ancient spiritual drawing. It's called the Buddha brought. It's a fractal, a picture generated from a pure mathematical formula. And yet, the resemblance to a meditating Buddha is just uncanny. Is that just a coincidence? Or is it a hint of what people like Carl Jung called the unus mundus, a unified reality where mind and matter, math and consciousness aren't separate things at all, a bridge between the world of logic and the world of spirit? So if our minds really do help create reality, then our collective choices, they matter a lot. Some spiritual traditions, you see it in stories like The Alchemist, suggest that we're at a great fork in the road. You can think of it as two basic paths humanity can walk. There's a descending path driven by fear and unconsciousness, where we just keep repeating the same mistakes over and over. Some would call that karma. And then there's an ascending path driven by love and awareness and coherence, our dharma, that leads to real growth. And the most mind-blowing part of this whole idea is that these aren't two separate worlds far off in the distance. They're coexisting right here, right now, layered on top of each other. Every single moment is a choice point. The path you're on isn't set in stone. It's determined by the energy you align with. Fear or love, division or unity, unconsciousness or awareness. So, wow, after this whole trip from the bottom of the cave all the way out to the cosmic blueprint of reality, where does that leave us? What do we do? How do you live in a world when the old illusions have all crumbled away? The answer isn't to despair. It's to take up the job of creation. It's time to create your own sun. So what's the game plan? Well, all this wisdom kind of boils down to 4 key things. First, you've got to see the illusions, the games, the past, the ego. Just acknowledge them. Second, as the philosopher Nietzsche urged, you have to find your why, that personal mission that makes all the struggle worth it. Third, you learn to act with Wu Wei, the Taoist art of effortless action, flowing with life instead of constantly fighting it. And finally, you have to embody your future. Like Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches, you combine a clear intention with a powerful, elevated emotion, and you start living in that new reality right now. And that second step, finding your why, honestly, it's everything. In a world where all the ready-made meanings have been stripped away, your why becomes your sun. It's your center of gravity. It's the purpose that gives you the strength to get through any how, to navigate any struggle. It's not about finding some universal meaning out there. It's about forging your own from the inside out. So in the end, this whole journey out of the cave leads to one breathtaking conclusion. You are not just a prisoner watching shadows on a wall. You're not a passive observer of reality. You are an active participant, a co-creator. If the universe is this grand cosmic symphony, you're not just sitting in the audience. You're one of the musicians. If you are, as Alan Watts put it, the universe experiencing itself, then the final, most important question isn't what you're going to find out there. It's what are you going to create?
If this opened your eyes, imagine what else is hiding in your mind. Don't forget to subscribe for weekly episodes that decode your brain, one pattern at a time. And if something clicked today, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, stay curious.